watching NotesIn9.
Hello, and welcome to NotesIn9. I'm David Leedy. Episode 103, Installing Domino Designer. One small step for programming, one giant leap for collaboration. Okay, before we get started, if you're new to the series, the Notes9 series, or new to Notes or X Pages or so, I've got a bunch of other resources at some of these URLs, cheat sheets and indexed videos and whatnot. The community has additional resources at xpages.info and OpenNTF. So we use Stack Overflow and we have our own forum. Yada yada yada. Okay, so let's get to the big news of the day. The big news is a special day because it is Mr. Russ Maher's birthday. He was born. I put a star there for the year because Russ is timeless. So that's just the way he goes. But Russ is a great guy. He's a great teacher. He's a great mentor. He's a great contributor. He's a great contributor to Notes9. He's educated probably countless Notes Domino people over the course of his speaking career through the View boot camps and everything like that. So, Russ, if you ever watch this, and God, I wouldn't know why you would watch this show because you're kind of more advanced than this, but happy birthday, my friend. Okay, speaking of friends, I've got a great friend returning today, and John Jardine is coming back to contribute to the show. And he's from South Africa, and he's a great developer. He has his own business down there called Ukavuma, and they do consulting and I'm sure mentoring and all that other good stuff. And he's available on Twitter. And what he's going to do today is he's going to come on and basically just show how to install Domino Designer, and kind of just get started with it, your feet wet with it. Just kind of a back to basics show for anyone coming in new. Now the designer he's using is 853, and we're shortly closing in on Designer 9.0 coming out, but the installation should be very similar. So with that being said, let's go to the demo.
Hi everyone, I'm John Jardine from Ukavuma, and welcome to the first of the Intro Series video tutorials. In this tutorial I'm going to show you where to download Lotus Domino Designer and also how to get it installed and configured on your machine. We'll end off the tutorial by creating a quick Hello World application so that you can just get a taste of things to come. So let's get started. Alright, so if you open up your browser and you can go to xpages.info, it will take you to this home page. You'll see that one of the very first links on the page is Download IBM Domino Designer. If you click on that link, you'll get to this section over here where you can say Download Domino Designer free. Alright. By clicking on that link, it will take you to this page where you can go down here and click on this green download button. That will then take you to this page where you might need to register for an IBM ID if you have not got one already. Registration is free, and I think once you get past that, you'll be able to provide your email address and password and click on the sign in. That then will then take you to this page where you can go and choose which Domino Designer you want to download. There's quite a few of them catering for different languages and a few other things, but for the default you can just select the top one and then go down to the bottom and click on continue. That takes you to this page over here where you can go and just say download either using download director or HTTP. I just chose HTTP and clicked on the download now, and that will ask you to save the following file to your machine. Okay. And you can see it's about 687 megs download. So once you've done that, you should see the following file on your machine, and you can double click on that one to get it installed. Now, I've already installed it on my side because it actually takes a few minutes. But it's a very basic install. You can actually just follow most of the default settings, but there are two areas that I'd like you to just make a couple of changes when you're performing this install. When you get to this window where you provide the custom setup, you'll see that it doesn't look like this as a default. I think for now I recommend enabling the Notes Client, Domino Designer, and Domino Administrator, and actually deselecting the rest of them. You can always modify, you can run the install and modify these settings later on as you need it. When you click on Next, you'll get to another screen where it will say, do you want to make your notes your default mail, calendar, and contacts? Depending on which mail clients you use, I would deselect this as well. Make sure nothing over here is selected. And once you're done with that, you can click on the install button. So that will, from here, it will actually take a few minutes. And once you pass that, then you'll get to the complete part of the install wizard where you can just click on the finish button. Alright, so let's just close this window and this window. Okay, so once you've finished installing, you can go and say start, and you'll either see Lotus Notes 8.5 here, or you might just have to go to All Programs, Lotus Applications, and choose Lotus Notes 8.5. That will take you to this screen where you can just click on Next, and yeah, you can provide your name, John Jardine, and you don't want to connect to a Domino server because I'm assuming that you are brand new to Domino Designer or Lotus Notes development, so you'll probably be running a lot of the stuff on local. So just deselect this option and just provide your full name over there. Click on Next. Leave this as is. Click on Next again. Work with me here. And it will ask you one more time, do you want to set up your default email program as Lotus Notes? I'll say in future don't perform this check and just say no. And then it will open up this page over here. So now this is your Lotus Notes client. So it's actually a very smooth install. That's the good news. You know, to get Lotus Domino Designer up and running, you don't need add-ons, you don't need funny things. It gets it installed on your machine and you're pretty much ready to go. So all I want to show you is a few tweaks to make your environment just a little bit more manageable. This getting started page, you know, we're not really going to focus on this. You can actually just close this and then you'll see that the home icon over here, or the home tab, is showing you this over here. What I'd recommend is actually using the Lotus Notes Workspace. This is probably the most popular window inside the Lotus Notes clients that allows you to handle multiple applications in one interface. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on the Open. I'm going to go to Applications, and you see there's an option here, Workspace. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to right click on that, and I'm going to say Set Bookmarkers Homepage. Okay. And it prompts you if you want to do it, and you say yes, and you get this. Alright, so this is what I'm referring to as the Lotus Notes Workspace. And each one of these icons that you see in the workspace is a Lotus Notes database. So what we want to do is, let me close this and let me just reopen it one more time so that to make sure that you don't get asked to log in and that your settings remain intact. So I'm just going to go back to Lotus Notes 8.5. It's going to load, and there we go. Your home page is now the Lotus Notes workspace that I've been talking about. Alright, so there you go. Lotus Notes is up and running. You've now got a client interface where you can actually work inside the applications if you're developing applications for Lotus Notes. You've also got the Domino Designer, which is where you'll go and develop your applications. And to access the Domino Designer is actually quite easy. All you do is you click on Open, and you select the Domino Designer over here. That will open up a new window. There we go. So now you've got two windows. You've got your Lotus Notes client and you've got your Lotus Domino Designer. When you open up the Designer for the first time, you'll see that you get to the welcome page, and this is quite a nice page because it just gives you a couple of basic things to understand when working inside the Domino Designer, especially if you're not familiar with Eclipse. You can also go and see what's new for those that have actually worked inside Domino Designer before in previous versions. And by clicking on the Learn More, there's a lot of links that will take you to a couple of sites that will really give you a lot of insight on Domino development. There's also an Xpages tutorial over here. This is actually a built-in tutorial inside the Lotus Domino Designer, so you don't have to download it or anything. And it will show you how to actually set up your first Xpages application. But that's not the focus over here. So all you need to do to start using Domino Designer is just click on this link over here, which will close the welcome page, and this is it. This is your Domino Designer over here. Okay, so we're at the last part of the tutorial, and what I want to do here is just show you how to quickly set up an application so that you can, I don't know, start developing. All right, we're not going to focus on that specifically in this tutorial, but we'll definitely cover that in later tutorials. All right, so to set up your first application, all you do is you go File, Application, and New. If you click on that, you're going to get this little box over here. The server is local. That means that you actually you're going to create this application on your local machine and not on some server or Domino server out there. So we can create a title for the application. We'll just say Hello World. And you'll see that it automatically provides the file name. So this NSF, this is actually your database. This is your Lotus Notes database. Your design as well as the data will be stored inside this NSF. What I do recommend is that you just keep your file name lowercase and no spaces or funny characters. So I'll just change that to Hello World. Alright, so leave everything else as it is and click on OK. And here on your left hand side, here's your first application up and running and ready to go. So we're just going to create a quick form so that I can show you what it looks like when you actually preview it inside the user interface. So we're going to click on New Form, and let's call it Hello World. And you'll see here's the name of the form, but you can also provide the alias, which can be Hello World. You can follow the same rules that you would follow in creating controls or fields or stuff like that. So don't worry, by providing this, you never have to worry about changing this value. We can change it to whatever you like later on. So long as this remains intact, your code won't break. Okay. So we click on OK over here, and it's going to give us this empty window pane. Alright, so this is actually your form. This is what the users will use to capture information. And all we're going to do over here is we're going to add some text, Hello World. Enter your name. And next to it, I'm going to go click on this icon which says Create Field. So if I do that, you'll see the default name is Untitled. We can just call it first name. So this is the same as an input control that you would use on your web pages or an input tag on an HTML page. So I've just said their name is first name. I'm going to leave everything else as is for now. And I'm going to go just Control S on my keyboard to save this form. And now we can go and preview it inside the user interface, which we refer to as the Notes client. So I'm just going to click over here, go to Workspace IBM Lotus Notes, and here it is. Here's our Hello World application. If I double click on this, you'll see what we regard as a basic interface to the application. This means this is usually when there's no design elements or no UI created for the application. Lotus Notes provides you with what we call a default view and a default outline on the left-hand side. So what we want to do is we want to just quickly test out our form. So I'm going to click on Create, and you'll see, here we go, Hello World. So if I click on that, it's going to open up the form where we added the text, Hello World, enter your name, and I'm just going to say John. And I'm going to do Control S again on my keyboard, and I'm going to push Escape. And you'll see that we've already created and stored a document into this database. And you'll see it. It's actually referenced here inside the view, and you'll see it's got an index of 1. So if I double click into this, I'm back into the document where I was in. Now because it's Lotus Notes, it's quite easy. I mean, a lot of the things that we take for granted are already catered inside Lotus Notes. So for example, editing existing data, modifying or saving data, creating new records, it's actually very automatic when it comes to working inside a Lotus Notes database. So for example, I want to edit this and I want to say, instead of saying John, I want to add my surname as well. So all I do here is I double click, and there's my field. I can go now say John Jardine, push Control S, Escape, and if I double click back into this, the data was stored. Alright, so what I'm showing you over here is, there's obviously, later on we'll do buttons and all kinds of stuff to make the user interface much better. But this was a quick way to allow you to create, read, update And even if you want delete, all you do is you push F9 on your keyboard. Come on, work with me here. There we go, sorry. Push the delete icon, not the F9. Thanks, John, for that. You push the delete icon, and then F9. You'll see at the bottom over here it says one document's marked for deletion. Push F9 to refresh. You can push F9, and it asks you, do you want to delete the one document? Yes, and it's removed from the database. Okay, so that's it for this tutorial. Sorry for the last part, I messed up a little bit over there. There's going to be many more of these tutorials that will be coming very soon, where I'll focus on various topics like understanding how the Lotus Notes database works, forms and views, creating basic functions, and a bit of a user interface, and a lot more to come from that. So I hope you enjoyed this, and until the next time, see ya.
And that's the demo. I thank John for coming on the show. And again, a big old happy birthday to Russ. And if you have any questions for me, here's my information. And I thank you for your time.